Alright, hi again for video number 3. As we get a little bit closer to the EoGs every day, this is our video session about important ideas, because you guys know that one of the biggest areas of questioning that you're going to run into is the big ideas, main idea, central idea, supporting details. All of those things that we've spent a lot of time on this year, as you've been proving points from the text. Just don't forget everything that we've done, and you really should be just fine. So, when you see an important idea question, that's going to have to do with things like determining the main idea of a selection, finding supporting details that prove that main idea, and any other kind of questions that go with that information. Sorry, lost my train of thought there for a minute. Alright, the first thing you need to do is to be able to recognize what the question is asking you for. And in order to do that, you should be able to recognize some key terms that will help you identify which type of question you're dealing with. So first, let's talk about main idea. When you're looking at a main idea question, you may see the term main idea itself. However, on the North Carolina EoGs, more than likely you're going to see either the terms mostly about or mainly about. And several of you asked about the term central idea that came up on your field test the other day. Central idea is what the Common Core and Essential Standards refers to the main idea as. It's central idea instead of main idea, but they mean the same thing. So if you see any one of these terms, you know what you're looking for. You're looking for the main idea. The second thing you need to make sure that you know from looking at the question is which part of the text you need to know the main idea of. Usually it's either going to be one particular paragraph, which will have a number with a circle around it next to the paragraph in the selection. It may be a chunk of a paragraph, which you're usually going to see in an informational text passage, because it may be divided up into subheadings, or it may be the entire passage itself. Those are probably the most difficult because they're going to be a little more vague. Chances are good if you're looking for one particular paragraph, that main idea may be stated somewhere within the paragraph. But in any case, make sure you read the question carefully to determine if you're looking for a main idea, and to determine which part of the text your main idea is supposed to come from. Go back for just a minute. Key terms are always important. The second type of question we're talking about here is supporting details. If you're looking for supporting details, you need to look for this one phrase: according to the passage. Most of your supporting detail questions are going to be right there. All you have to do is look back and you literally find it in the passage. It's not going to be a matter of inferring. It's not going to be making a guess. You're not going to be drawing a conclusion. If it says according to the passage, the information is literally right there in the passage. If you can't find it, you've done it wrong. Pretty straightforward. The one thing you got to be careful about is it may or may not be word for word from the passage. It may be paraphrased. But if you see this, chances are you're looking for a detail that was specifically mentioned literally in the passage. So there's a couple of things that you can do as you're looking for main idea strategies to make it a little bit easier on you, to make the text a little bit more manageable. The first thing that you can do is to use a lot and jot strategy. We're going to practice this in class on Monday. Lotting and jotting simply means that you divide it up into smaller portions instead of trying to look at the text all together. And you do this as you read the selection the first time. It won't take you any extra time really, and it's not going to distract you from the point, but it will help you whenever you're going back and looking for answers. So when you lot, you divide up the text into lots, just like if the text was a subdivision and we want to divide it up into different plots of ground. Of course, it'll be divided along the lines of these paragraphs have this in common, these paragraphs have this in common. If you're reading a fictional selection, you might look for the introduction, the conflict, the rising action, the climax, the following action, and the resolution. Those will be very naturally broken up. If it's an informational text selection, you might divide it up by headings, you might divide it up by cause and effect. A lot of it depends on how the text itself is organized. But as you read, look for the natural dividing lines and literally draw a lot around that piece of text, around that block. Block it in, make a lot out of it. After you've lotted, then you want to make a little annotation next to it. What is this about? This paragraph gave me the setting and this happened to this character. So you can either annotate using words or you can draw graphics next to each lot. Something brief, something small that'll help you remember what that lot is about and why you lumped it together. So I'm sure the next question you're thinking is, well, why should I take the time to do that? That's going to make my work harder. That's going to make me have to do more. Well, it may seem that way initially, yes, but it does several things in the long run. To begin with, it'll save you time, because I cannot tell you how many times I've seen kids searching in vain for something that they remember was there, but they didn't annotate the text, so they can't find it again. It also reduces the temptation to reread the entire thing when you're looking for one specific piece of information. It's not necessary. If you've got your chunks, if you've got your lots drawn out and you've got your annotations next to them, it's not hard to go back into the text and find the detail that you're looking for, because you already have an outline of what the text is about. And it also tips you off to what the structure is. So if you have a question that involves where is the climax of this story, and as you've gone through, you've already blocked off each section, you can find the place that the climax is. If it asks you how is this informational text passage organized, and you notice that the natural dividing lines fall between cause and effect, then you're going to be able to figure out that question that, hey, this is a cause and effect text structure. It shows me this cause, then it tells me what the effect is. It's going to be easier in the long run, and it's going to save you time. You may have to pause while you're reading, but that's okay. Give your brain a break anyway. Alright, specifically for main ideas. And if I were you, I would be jotting down some notes on this presentation, because, well, it may come up in class. Just warning. So specifically for the main idea, the most important thing is that you know your target. You know which part of the selection you need to look at to find the main idea of it. Then go back, check your notes from when you lotted and jotted. Find the part that you're looking at. Check what you've written down, because chances are really good, if you have annotated what that chunk is mostly about, you've annotated the main idea. It's already there. All you have to do is find the answer choice that most closely matches what you wrote down. When you're looking at main ideas, they should sound a certain way. You need to think bigger. Don't think smaller. Because most of the time, the answer choices that are given to you, there's one answer choice that you can connect to. If it's an entire passage main idea, you should be able to connect the answer choice to every part of the selection. If it's a specific paragraph, you should be able to connect the main idea to every part of that paragraph. If it is one specific detail that only connects to one part of the passage or one part of the paragraph, that's not your main idea. Main ideas are big ideas. They're not small. They're not in the box. Okay, so you need to expand your search out. Ask a critical question. Hang on, let me check my notes right quick. See? I lotted and jotted. Oh, my bad. Oh no. So sorry, y'all. I know this is not interesting watching for you. I can't find my main idea notes. Oh, there we are. That's not bad. Okay. If you will ask yourself, what is the one thing the author needs me to know from this passage? the answer to that question is probably the main idea. And if you can't figure it out, then at least it'll give you some concept of what you're looking for. If you can answer that question and then find an answer choice that is close to that question in your 4 distractors, chances are good you're on the right track. And the next thing you can do is build a case, which is exactly what we did whenever we wrote research papers. You were finding text evidence and building a case to prove your point. If it can be proven, if it can be supported from multiple places in the selection, then it is probably the main idea. Which statement can you build the strongest case for? If you are just completely at a loss and you go through and you look for text evidence to support each answer choice, the one with the most is the main idea. And if you're looking for a detail, here's what you can do. Make sure you look for your keyword according to the passage or in the passage. Remember that the answer is going to be right there somewhere. So look for it. Find the right answer. Find it in the text. And if you're still not sure after you've looked for the right answer, look for all of the answers. The wrong ones, they're not going to be there. They're not going to be in the passage. If they are in the passage, they're going to be mentioned in a completely different context. Not the same thing. So that concludes our video about important ideas. Please come to class prepared to do some main idea questions to be able to find supporting details. Remember what lotting and jotting is, because we're going to be working on that in class. And I hope you have a great rest of the weekend, and I will see you on Monday.